After 50 years of comics, movies, television series, it's safe to say that everyone's got their favorite X-Men, whether it's Wolverine, Mystique, Magneto, or Goldballs. Yep, that's an actual character. No judgment. Hundreds of mutants have been affiliated with Professor Xavier's mission, and many have earned adoration from the fans. However, there are some mutants that aren't as widely respected or celebrated. Do they really deserve their lesser reputation? Well, let's take a look at the 10 underrated X-Men that are secretly awesome. Number 1, Cyclops. It's easy to rag on Cyclops. After all, he's the leader of the team, and his nearly uncontrollable optic blasts force him to live a life of restraint. He's the guy that characters like Wolverine like to rebel against. But then again, Wolverine's been kind of after his woman, so he might be a little bit biased.
So read my mind.
I'd rather not.
Come on. You afraid you might like it?
For much of the X-Men history, Cyclops has led mutant kind in the fight against persecution, making personal sacrifices along the way. Through thick and thin, Cyclops doesn't give up the fight for mutant survival, even if that means breaking bad and going against the only family he knows. Cyclops' undenying conviction is just one reason why he's one of the most underrated X-Men of all time. Number 2, Dazzler. Marvel and Casablanca Records created Dazzler in an attempt to capitalize on the disco craze. She was originally intended to be a multimedia sensation, with Bo Derek playing the mutant in a never-produced film. Dazzler's usually dismissed as a roller-skating X-Men with Farrah hair, but she really pulls inspiration from a different disco legend, Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. Nope? Okay. Dazzler survived the death of disco, the X-Men's dangerous stay in Australia, a civil war in Multiverse, and numerous threats as she jumped through dimensions. As Dazzler fought her way back, her disco roots shifted to an edgier, punkier style. Number 3, Marrow. Marrow's one example of an extremely 90s mutant. She's got a gross power involving excessive bone growth and a serious rage problem. I mean, I would too if I had a body only Skeletor could love. Marrow's brief time with the X-Men depicted a woman struggling with expectation placed upon her. The X-Men saw her as Pharaoh, so she acted ferociously towards them. This short-lived X-Men is great because she tackled identity issues head-on. Marrow's recent appearances have been reimagined as a one-woman, bone-wielding army, proving that she's more formidable than forgettable. I guess we can say that she's bad to the bones. Number 4, Shatterstar. This character's similarity to early 90s MTV icons was pretty intentional. He's a hunky warrior complete with an aggressive hairstyle and double-bladed swords for extra stabbing goodness. Shatterstar's journey towards self-discovery made him the data force of X-Force. Shatterstar's development continued during his tenure with X-Factor in the 2000s, when writer Peter David confirmed that the character is both bisexual and polyamorous. This warrior has grown into one of comics' most notable queer characters. Number 5, Gambit. The Raging Cajun popularity leapfrogged from past X-Men mainstays, as his cartoonishly thick accent won over viewers of Fox's X-Men cartoon. While some fans claim he's just a 52 pickup playing pickup artist, Gambit is great because he's unapologetically fun, and as LMFAO would say, he's sexy and he knows it. With such unique character traits, Gambit's one of the most secretly awesome X-Men. Number 6, Adam X. For the most part, Adam X is a goateed-haired metal enthusiast. During his mid-90s heyday, writers flirted with giving him depth. He was almost made Cyclops and Havoc's long-lost brother, but that storyline was scrapped after a few somewhat poignant hints. Instead, there's reason to embrace Adam X for what he is, the X-Men equivalent of Fast and Furious. He's loud, aggressive, and over the top, but his longing for deep familial connection is also right there in his character history. And come on, those blades are pretty awesome. Number 7, Jubilee. Jubilee's major claim to fame is being the entry point character in the 90s X-Men cartoon, so there's a bit of generational bias when it comes to this firecracker. Viewers that grew up in the early 90s may relate to this self-proclaimed mall babe with a major tood, but her appeal may be lost to those who came before or after that era. Still, Jubilee's a character that brings equal parts fun and snark to the X-Men's generally bleak adventures. Number 8, Cypher. Because X-Men stories are action stories, most mutants have powers to annihilate their opponents. Not Cypher. Instead, Cypher has the power to understand any language, spoken, written, or otherwise. While being a translator doesn't help him in a gunfight, translating is a great skill to have when your team is constantly crashing into foreign countries or offending extraterrestrials. Recently, writers have boosted Cypher's skills to make him understand body language, which includes mimicking martial arts moves with ease. But what makes Cypher great is his personality. With his empathetic nature and genuine sincerity, he becomes the heart of every team he's on. In an action-packed world, Cypher is a breath of fresh air and deserves much more recognition. Number 9, Joseph. As a clone of Magneto, it can be hard to make a case for Joseph. Hints of his inner Magneto's ruthlessness would appear occasionally, which made it feel like the X-Men had a ticking mutant time bomb. Joseph also gave Rogue the best Christmas gift ever, a piece of alien hardware that canceled out her mutant abilities, allowing her to touch people without hurting them. Meeting his end by sacrificing his life to stop a newly returned Magneto from wrecking the Earth, Joseph's origin is definitely convoluted, but his heroism is clear. And last but not least, number 10, Maggott. With an external digestive system composed of 2 metallic slugs, Maggot has easily one of the most disgustingest mutant powers out there. Sure, consuming matter gives him super strength and turns his skin blue, but not having a stomach is a weird price to pay for powers. The wisecracking character brought some fun to the team, and his newcomer status allowed him to call out some of the more insane things about the X-Men. As someone battling self-doubt and shame spurred by his power, he also brought a different viewpoint to the team's struggle for mutant acceptance. He may be gross, but he's definitely one of a kind, which makes him one of the most underrated X-Men. So there you have it. If this list doesn't inspire you to give those X-Men a second look, then maybe you're a mutant whose only power is to be an emotionless robot. Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stuff. I'm out. Peace!